Hello, this is Keith with the Farm to Table Direct Show, and we are here at the 2023 Okie Homesteading Expo. And I'm sitting here with my new friend, Stewart from Restoration Farms, and of course Josh is also with me today, aka the boss. And so anyway, we're going to tell you a little bit about Stewart and his wife Ashley and Restoration Farms today. And so I'm just going to open it up, simply by asking, what motivated you to get into, homesteading. Feel free to tell us about, your background or anything that, just what was going through your mind when you and Ashley kind of talked about that.
Yeah, well, Ashley and I, we both grew up in rural Nebraska, small town Nebraska.
Okay.
So we grew up in farming communities, and the type of farming we experienced was, modern industrial farming, and, so we didn't give a lot of thought to other ways of doing things, right? But we eventually moved to Dallas, big city, and in the back of our minds, we always kind of wanted land, something to do with land. We could grow our own food, we could raise our family on the land. But before we did that, we sold our house in Dallas, and we actually went RVing for 3 years full time. And so, when we had several children at the time, but we went through the mountains, we went to several state parks in Texas, and we just wanted to see the area, And we were actually trying to find a spot to land, a spot to settle down. And so after some looking, after some praying, we like to say we prayed our way into the property, because everything we were looking for, we just found it right here in Oklahoma on a 10-acre plot of land. And Oklahoma. I'm going to give a shout out to Oklahoma because
right. Oklahoma is more than okay, all right?
Oh, yes, yes. Oklahoma is where it's at, and I did not know it before I moved here, but I'm a believer, all right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we got our plot of land. Ashley's always been interested in herbs and medicine and wanting to teach about that stuff, and so this is really what she wanted to do forever. And I always like learning, I always like teaching, but as far as the plant aspect of it, it wasn't until I moved to the property that I really cared, because I'm like, now that I have some land of my own, I can identify what's around me, and I can get value out of that. Not over-harvest, do it in the right way, learn to name and identify what's around me so that I can get use out of it for me and my family.
Right. And so once you moved in, tell us a little bit about the acreage that you have there.
Okay, so it's we got 10 acres. It's going to be about 600 foot on a square on a side. But what we're trying to do there is build our property up according to what are called permaculture principles.
Yeah.
So permaculture is a huge topic. It goes back to, really the Garden of Eden, I suppose.
Okay, right.
But really, when people talk about permaculture, it goes back to the 1970s, Bill Mollison, and basically advocating certain ideas about how to take care of the land without degrading it, but building it up. And so we want to do things on our property in such a way that soil fertility grows, and there's more abundance, and there's more to give, and there's more to receive.
So there's like a little circle of life on a piece of land, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And so one thing helps the other thing that helps the other thing, and it eventually comes back full circle, right?
That's one of the principles of the 12 main tenets of permaculture is to use and value diversity. So you think about the diversity of life on your property, how the ecosystems are interconnected, and you actually work to make things better for the life that's on your property, so that all things can improve.
Right. Now, you were a speaker here at the Okie Homesteading Expo this year.
Yeah.
Speaker says it right there.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up? So you were talking about edible plants, a wild edible, and is that just for eating, or is that for medicinal purposes, or just kind of an all-around type thing? Kind of give us a rundown of what you spoke about today.
Right. A lot lot of people are familiar with foraging and gathering wild food. You can cook greens. You can find that allium, which is like wild garlic and onion and leek, and you can cook those up, right? A lot of people are familiar with that, but then there also is the medicinal aspect of it. So herbalism and wild foraging combined with herbalism is really exploding in popularity. A lot of people are interested in plant medicines. They're tired of solutions doled out in a bottle, and they think, okay, there's got to be things out here in nature that can benefit my body. And so, there's definitely the medicinal side of it. And, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just saying, when I see something that works, then you use it.
Right, absolutely. And another aspect of something that I've seen that you guys had out there, and I kind of want to get an update on it.
Okay.
But you guys have the rose pond.
Yeah.
The rose pond. Tell me about the rose pond.
Okay, so the rose pond, basically it's a permanent pond on our property. It was there when I went and looked at it the first time, and it remains, through the winter, and so it gets higher and lower. But it is surrounded by multiflora rose, which bloom white. Actually last month they're all in bloom, and but one of the things in permaculture is you want to increase the water on your land, increase the ponds. We all know that, you can't have life without water. But then when you really let that sink in, that means the more water spots that you put on your land in the right places and so forth, then you're going to actually increase the life on your land because, it's going to draw in life. But that pond, we have a seasonal pond, and then that one remains, and it's a great recreation spot for the family and for our friends who come down there. And there's just a lot you can learn anywhere you look in nature too. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Well, I noticed you had like little campsites.
Yeah.
There. Are they still there now? Do you still have like the larger?
We have a couple campsites down there.
Yeah.
We're fixing our weed eater. We need to get them back in shape again. But we've had people stay down there just to kind of get away, and they've got the walk to the pond just a few seconds away. So it's a great location.
Yeah. So then something else I picked up on too is that a little bit more into the personal level of things, and that was that you've gone carnivore lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that working out?
Thanks for asking. So. The carnivore diet is pretty awesome, I gotta say.
Really?
It's pretty awesome.
What's the difference?
The difference?
Yeah, I know you did that video, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you called and first time I'd heard that, you're carnivore and the carbivore. You did the carbivore video. I thought that's hilarious, dude. It's like you're really lurking in the dark and finding hiding spots to eat all those donuts,
We've all been there. My sister's like, how is this video me? Where it's just like, we've all been in the car eating donuts or candy bars or whatever. So yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe we haven't. Maybe it's just me. So.
Yeah. No, it's just you, man. I've never heard of anybody doing that.
So the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
We basically we're eating ketovore right now. So the difference being ketovore, like
ketovore. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So when you go to carnivore diet, your body goes into ketosis. It produces ketones to burn for energy instead of the sugars. And so ketovore, and we're having 30 grams or less of carbohydrates per day, and usually it's probably 10 to 15. And so we stay in ketosis, and the benefits are just unbelievable. It's I used to get migraine headaches all the time, toothaches frequently. I have that's everything that was in the video. But if you've never tried it, you should really look into common carnivore diet mistakes and how to do it properly, because it's enormously beneficial.
Right, and I'm not a stranger to it, but it might look like I am. I actually have done that in the past. I found it difficult for me. I'm weak. I'm a weak man to stay on the keto diet. But so I was just kind of like, how long have you been doing that now? And
I think it's for me, it's about 3 months. And so the first 6 weeks was pure carnivore. Like I had 0 grams of carbs.
Oh, wow.
And that's actually when I'd say I experienced maybe the greatest jumps in, difference that you can see in your body. But
Sure.
some people, it either gets, it might get boring for some people. Like my wife, she's like, I need variety.
Variety, yeah.
So you add the variety in. And for me, it wasn't an issue at all. Like I just knew, hey, I can eat bacon. I'm good.
Oh, I know, right?
So,
It's like, give me bacon. Give me, pork rinds. I
right,
don't care.
exactly, pork rinds. Yeah. So animal products. But yeah,
But there is sometimes that I have a craving, and I kind of listen to my body.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too much, but there will be times that I crave like fresh vegetables and everything,
Yep.
and I know that vegetables can be higher on carbs. So you got to be watchful of that on
Yep.
that particular diet. But kind of swerving back into your property and your homestead.
Yes.
There, are you raising a percentage of your food right now off of your own property?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. So
How's that going?
we have dairy cow. We have 1 dairy cow, and we have 4 bulls, and we have goats, and we have some pigs. And so we are in the process of switching to producing and eating what comes off the land. So one thing any homestead has to keep in mind, and this is one of the biggest challenges for us, is like fencing. As you get these animals, the boundaries and how you decide to move them through, that becomes a very important factor.
So
yes.
So have you adopted that style to where they have different paddocks?
Yeah,
And you're rotating those?
Yeah, we've done the electric fencing. We don't have it currently right now, but for a year we did electric fencing to where you rotate them through the paddocks.
Yeah.
And so it's if you follow Joel Salatin, have you heard of Joel Salatin?
I don't know him. There's another guy that I listen to on that sort of thing, but anyway.
where he did the chicken tractors, and he's got a farm out in the Shenandoah Valley. But he would do the rotational grazing with his cattle, and so he'd section them off for a day and then move them through the fields. And basically, it gives the grass on the rest of your property time to grow and the roots to get deeper and so forth. Then when the cows come through and eat it, then the roots are going to shed in the ground. The microorganisms are going to eat the roots. It's going to increase the carbon in the soil, and it increases soil fertility. So the carbon will, increase the fungi in the soil, and it's an increasing cycle. So that's how he's increasing soil fertility on his property. And he actually has documented it since the 1960s when his father moved there, how much it's increased.
It's been around a lot longer than I know.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of lost arts that's been out there, but as I see it now, we're regenerating some of the lost arts, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This whatever it was that brought you to homesteading,
right?
Whether it be the political environment, whether it be just something that you craved as a kid, man, I would just love to do this. If it was a romantic idea or whatever it was, more and more people
Yes.
are waking up and they're really going back to what I would call our roots, And speaking a little bit into the political aspect of this, was there anything at all that when you were considering, I'm not going to call you off grid. You're a homesteader.
Yeah.
There's different levels of homesteading. It's not just all off grid, no modern conveniences or anything like that. But did any of the things that's going on in the world, did it awaken something in you that said, you know what, we need to get back closer to the land?
As far as in recent events, we moved to our property in 2019, so that clears us of that reason, as far as getting the property.
Right. Oh, you mean
The C word?
the word that shall not be named.
the word that shall not be named?
Yeah, and we lived in Dallas, like I said, for 10 years.
Right.
And regardless of what was going on, I had said, well, we should get out of the city because you need to be able to take care of yourself. If there was an emergency and blackouts and shutdowns and long gas lines and everything else, and you couldn't leave the city, things can get pretty bad in a hurry.
Sure.
And plus just the freedom of having land and to live on the property and just to experience life in that way is so much different. And so we wanted it for different reasons. And just the fact that we wanted to be able to take care of ourselves, that is definitely one of the reasons, you know. And so whatever's going on in that the political climate, whatever's going on here or there, to try to get resiliency and get some community engagement and sufficiency going on to where we can take care of each other.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked to a lady just right before this, and she was living in Phoenix or around the Phoenix area, and she had the same, similar worries about, resources, specifically in her case, water resources. Right. So she just moved to Oklahoma from there, and I was telling her that, I've been a prepper for, over a decade now myself, and back before I started prepping, my anxiety level was just, through the roof. Like, man, if something happens, I'm not ready. And as over the last 10 years, as I start getting those preps in line and those supplies and in order and accumulating them, it's like my anxiety level just slowly drops. And I was 2019. It's funny you said you were RVing for 3 years. I have experience in that because I was flipping a house and the house was not suitable to live in. I just gutted it, so I moved my camper there. So just living in the camper, right? Yep. But anyway, 2019 was when that was, and when COVID hit, right there at the end of 2019, I was just like, I'm good. Like, people was freaking out, empty shelves and everything like that. And it's surprisingly, you would think that's when my anxiety of prepping would have been at its highest. But no, I was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, so that's important.
That's excellent. To have that confidence and peace of mind. Yeah. And we've talked about that a little bit, is preparing, but also preparing mentally for the fact that it could come. And so, like, the mental preparation and to be resilient, even if you don't have all the supplies, I'm going to figure out how to get supplies. To be resilient and, focused in that way.
Right. Well, the Farm to Table Direct show, one of the things that, part of our why is that we did look at the things that was going on in the world. And like I said, my grandchildren call me Papa Keith, and I couldn't look them in the eye. I don't want to ever think that sometimes in the future that my generations would look back and say to me, Papa Keith, you've seen these things that were going on. You didn't even stand up and talk about it. You didn't do anything about it. And so, that was kind of part of our why. And so as we started to, actually we've been, me, you, and Ryan, who is my brother, who's not here with us right now, we've been talking for decades. Hours on the phone. My brother's a truck driver, and he would call, and we would talk an awful lot. And then the three of us sometimes we'll be talking on the phone together, and our topics were always around politics. We're a political family. I don't mean that we're in politics. We just try to pay attention to it. And a lot of people, they don't really care anything much for that aspect of it, but that's where we came from. So whenever we got into this and we started looking around, we seen that they're centralizing a lot of our food resources, and I thought, what if something did happen? And it doesn't even have to be anything catastrophic, worldwide or anything like the C word was. But but let's just say that there was a tornado. We live in Tornado Alley, here, and so any type of an emergency, what would happen if we were only 3 days away from the shelves in Walmart or some of the other chain stores, to be empty, And so I thought, what? We need to, the only way for us to protect ourselves from that, the unexpected things, or even the things that might be intentionally being done to affect our food, is to take back control from that centralized system. And so that we wanted to bring it back closer to home, that all of us would take responsibility for our own family's food supply, whatever it takes. I'm not 100% eating off of my land. I'm not. But I did stock up on a lot of things, and we do have some things that are out there. So anyway, just wanted to touch on that topic just a little bit and kind of get your feel for that. I mean, do you feel better now that since you've seen things can go wrong?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people obviously were panicking in the last few years and trying to figure out what to do, but in a way, just knowing, I would say, more what was going on, and also knowing that we had land, it's almost like it passes right over you in a way, or under you, or whatever you want to say. It's like, yeah, it's going on, it's there, you hear about it nonstop, but it's almost like you just wade through it, and then
Right. I'm actually an optimist because I see a lot of people that's waking up as a result of some of the things that's happened in the last few years, and coming closer to homesteading and things like that, getting back in touch with the older ways and stuff. And so, so I want to kind of take a little bit different direction right now and kind of tell you guys how I actually discovered Restoration Farms. And and I can't even remember where I came across it at. It might have been on Oklahoma Farm to Table, or it could have been something like that I was just out, cruising around and looking to see what was out there. But you have a precious little girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
several.
Yeah, well, you do.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you could kind of tell us a little bit about your family, then I want to circle back to Charity.
Sure. We have 10 children, so we have 6 girls and 4 boys.
10 children.
10 children, yeah. And so up to 16 years old, and then down to our daughter Charity. She's about 6 months now. Yep.
Right.
And
so are they getting involved with everything that's there?
I would say so. I mean, they have their own enterprises on the farm, animals they take care of. They come with us on plant walks, plant ID walks, classes, presentations, and they know a lot of what's around them, and what's edible, what's not, what to avoid, and what the uses are. And so, absolutely, they've gained so much knowledge just by being out there and observing and interacting.
Before we move on to Charity, I want to ask you a question about wild edible foods.
Oh, okay.
Something that you said the other day about a particular plant had thorns on it.
Okay.
And was it that you said that this is like our warning, that these are things that we probably shouldn't eat? I mean, tell me a little bit about that.
And what's funny is I was going to put a text correction in the video at that point, but I think just needing to post the video and I didn't go back to it is as I was talking about a horse nettle nightshade plant, and it's very thorny. And what I accidentally said was it's trying to tell us it's toxic. Now, it is toxic to us and to certain animals, but just because something has thorns doesn't mean it's toxic necessarily. And so I wanted to make that correction. But what I meant yes, I did. So what I meant to say was that be careful.
You're welcome.
Stay away, right? Yeah. And so, but just like in the permaculture idea and using and valuing diversity, other species depend on it. Even the plant that I was holding had holes through the leaves, so something's eating it, right? And there are things that eat the berries, and goats love to eat all sorts of crazy things that kill other animals. And so it's a food source, and we don't want to eradicate it, but we also don't want it to spread everywhere. It's pokey and it's all that sort of thing, but it has a valuable place in the ecosystem.
Right. Well, everything has its own place and its purpose.
Right.
Right. But since then I thought, well, I know certain colorful snakes. They're really colorful. It's like a warning, And
Yeah.
then I thought, well, is there anything in, I'm just wondering how many people throughout the history of man died because they were just trying to find new edible sources,
And that's one that's always kind of haunted me about, say, like the Amanita phalloides, the death cap mushroom, where if you eat that mushroom, it'll produce your liver, it'll get in your liver, toxic, septicemia or whatever, and you die, right?
Right.
And so, but it's just a white mushroom. It's just white. It's not like, you might think the Amanita muscaria, the classic red with the white dots,
Right.
that one's telling you, and it is toxic in certain amounts, of course, but it's the death cap. It's kind of crazy, just a plain white one. And so there are exceptions to all these rules, and
I see, right.
And but yes, in general, poison frogs, poison snakes, yes. Nature gives warnings, or brightly colored insects. Why doesn't something come and eat them? Because it had one of them before and it said, no thanks, I'm not
Right.
eating another one of those.
Right. This guy's way too colorful, man. I'm
Yes, I'm
steering
outta
away.
here. Yeah.
Hey, you're a little too thorny, So anyway, I want to kind of circle back to charity for just a minute, because that's actually how I, learned about you guys,
Okay.
and I hope you don't mind me talking about it here a little bit. But charity was born with cataracts in both eyes.
Right.
Right, and you guys have an ongoing kind of struggle with that, and since that time, I kind of learned who you guys was. Can you give us a little bit of an update on what's going on with charity?
Yeah, she's doing great overall. I mean, she really is, and she tracks and she can see us and everything. It's we just went ahead and we decided, at a certain time when appropriate, standard of care, to get her to have a surgery, and ideally we wouldn't want to do that. I'm not in favor of necessarily the cut, burn, and drug method of healing.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
so. But it can be necessary in some cases, and so we're trying to do, of course, what's best for her. That's it. I mean, we love her, and we're doing the best for her that we can.
Right. She's precious, and this guy. Let me tell you, he is. Not somebody who reaches out, but I do know that you've got a Give, Send, Go account that's out there, to help with some of the expenses. And I know you're not asking,
Yeah.
but if anybody out there that happens to hear this want to give, I want to encourage you to do it. I've put
appreciate
my
that.
money
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
my mouth is.
Yeah.
I'm not just asking
Yeah.
other people to do it. Anyway, I don't remember exactly, where it's at. Do you remember where it's at?
I don't even know.
Okay, well, I'll
Because
leave a link to it.
One of Ashley, one of my wife's friends actually set up the account
I knew
for
it
us.
was somebody else
and
because
so
you guys didn't ask.
I haven't even seen the thing, so but I do know it was set up.
Right. So
Yeah.
anyway, there is that situation going on, and if you guys feel, led to do so, pray about it and see where you come out. Now, I want to change directions again here and talk a little bit about what you guys have on the table over here.
Sure.
And
Yeah. Do you want me to grab the books? Or?
yeah, go ahead and grab what you got and whatever it is that y'all have got over there, because I want to see what y'all have to offer. Now, that's y'all's book. You guys made that.
No. We did not author this book.
Oh, you didn't author
But
it?
it's
Okay.
it's so good that we sold them here at the expo because
I got you. Yeah.
because. And we're already sold out. So we're only keeping this last one as the giveaway for people who signed up for our, plant walks.
All right, good. Yeah.
And so we're giving this one away. But you want me to explain it and talk about this book?
Talk about the book. Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you love it so much?
Okay. Well, because it's great for anybody, either beginners or more expert, because it gives an introduction to botany and all the parts to understanding the different patterns and so forth. but it also lists nearly 200 families of plants, all the genus within those families, and then numerous species within the genus, and it tells you about the properties of everyone that it brings up. And then in the back it talks about all the compounds that are in plants, carbohydrates, glycosides, acids, acrid, latex, and we could go on, but there's all these compounds that are in plants as well. And then throughout the book he's mentioning which ones have those compounds, how it can be used, medicinally, edibly. It's really a fantastic resource.
So it's great for beginner, and would you say also for people who even have been in it for a little while?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I like about it? And I haven't ever seen it. I've never heard about it until today.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of pictures in it.
There's pictures on every page.
Yeah.
Even the children love it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's true. This is used as a college semester course in botany.
Oh, okay.
And so that shows you that there is a level of rigor here, that it's not just a beginner's book, but it does an excellent job. I was a beginner, honestly, before I read this book, and I love reading it. I love memorizing parts in it, and starting to learn. I have a much larger picture of how everything fits together now.
Hang on just a minute,
Yes.
Stewart. I just want
You want to see Charity?
This is Charity, and this is Ashley, Stewart's wife, so that everybody knows who's walking in over here. Yeah. And I'd like to say that you're the brains of the operation, but I know she's into it just like you are, especially into the botanicals.
She is the networker, and she's into herbalism, and she's better at plant ID than I am, and she networks people, and so that side of it. Yeah.
So,
and this is Samuel.
Samuel, right?
He's our helper today, and we've got an older boy also, but he's just having a ball somewhere, I'm sure.
He's having a ball somewhere else. Here?
Here,
He's here?
yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere.
He's roaming around.
Yeah.
And so, what else have you guys got? I know she was handing you some other things that's here.
This is by the same author, so if you need a simpler version, this is a story format of Botany in a Day. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So this is the story version of the Botany in a Day. So it's good for children or people that just want the simple version of it. And stories are how a lot of people remember things better. So that's another option if you want to learn the plant family.
So where can they get this?
They're both available on Amazon.
Both available on Amazon.
Yep.
You don't have a link or anything? Okay.
I can drop one. Yeah, we do have an Amazon affiliate program, so we can drop one in our Facebook page too. So yeah.
Right. And I also know that you guys do like courses, right? In this. And can you tell me? I'm gonna let Ashley tell me about that real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sure. So the wildcrafting classes or foraging classes, whatever you want to call it, I do a lot of the identification because I tend to be the one that works the most with the plants and making medicine and all of that. And Stewart is, like you said, the brains of the operation. He's doing the he's doing the more in-depth study, though. He was a math teacher for 10 years. He has a physics degree. He is really analytical and wants to dive in deep and do all of that. And I'm more on the practical side, doing that. And like you said, networking. So in our ebook, that's the main resource that we have in the ebook. It is this compilation of our talk, our synopsis of the talk that we gave today at the Homesteading Expo. But there's 10 pages of resources for people in Oklahoma to help build up our Oklahoma foraging community.
Are you guys Zone 7? Because in Eastern Oklahoma,
Yes.
we're Zone 7.
Yes, we're 7. Mhm. Yeah, we're only half an hour from here, so we're Eastern for sure.
Okay, so,
yeah.
So you were talking about your ebook. Can you tell us? Can you tell us a little bit about where they can find that ebook?
Yeah, I just put a post on Facebook where you can find that information for the ebook, for the giveaways that we're doing this weekend. Those are all there too. And our summer schedule just got put up there too. So.
Okay. So if you don't mind, send me the links of those things over to, and I'll put them in the description
Okay, awesome.
of these, and so that people know where to get them and who to contact if they want to take a course, take a tour of your property, and and take advantage of that. And so while you're here, you guys also have a YouTube channel, and you also have a Facebook channel. Are you guys anywhere else?
We do have Instagram too.
Instagram, okay. And what's the name of it?
It's all Restoration Farms, but it's at Restoration Farming.
Farming.
Okay, so it's at Restoration Farming,
Yeah.
and just look for Restoration Farms both on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and before we close it up, we're going to do a little rehearsal here.
All right.
And Ashley, since you're here, you get to be a part of it. Yeah. And at the end of our show, because we really do believe in building personal relationships with everybody in your community, because if, as Josh says, if peanut butter hits the fan, it's good to know people.
Yes, exactly.
It's good to know people, know who has what. You pull together, you work together to, help each other out, even when there's not an emergency. You build a long-term relationships there, and it's just brings security back to you and your family. So, anyway, I want to first thank you guys both for allowing us the opportunity. You and I, we're not done yet, because whether you guys know this or you guys don't know this, but we hit it off on a completely unrelated. Well, it's sort of related actually, but I didn't want to.
Related, yeah.
I didn't want to take.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take a too deep of a dive here today,
Right.
But anyway, check out his YouTube channel, and you'll pick up on what I'm talking about probably. But anyway, so again, like I said, I just want to thank Ashley and Stewart and Charity. And where's the other two boys? And Samuel, and for allowing us to, have this time with them here at the Okie Homesteading Expo here in 2023.
Yeah, happy to do it. It's a lot of fun.
So you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're gonna be doing is we're going to be saying, prepare for the unexpected and keep it local. Okay, and you got to break up the keep it local part, right? So until next time, folks, this is Keith with the Farm, and Josh with the Farm to Table Direct Show, saying, till next time, prepare for the unexpected and keep it local.